Hi everybody, welcome back to Guang Ping Yang. We're on movement 20. Could be jazz hands, a little bit. Anyway, movement 20 is high pat on horse, one of my favorites, and I know that you've heard me say that before, but it truly is because it's one of the first places that I felt qi outside of my body. So, we begin this movement at the end of single whip. So let's get into single whip. We're in single whip, and here's what high pat on horse looks like. Okay, so let's get to the feet. When we ended, we were in single whip. You may have been in a 90-degree L stance or at a 45. This is important to know in your structure because it affects how we move in the form. So if you are in an L stance, then when we begin to move, we're going to let the string turn us. That's going to lift the left foot. Notice I'm folding into my left quad. It's going to lift the right foot, I'm sorry. Right foot. And then we immediately allow the string to draw us back onto the right. That frees up the left foot. We turn, and that brings the ball of the left foot down into a cat stance. But notice now my back foot is at an angle. If it were not at an angle and it was here, that would put a lot of pressure on my knee. I don't want that pressure. So if you're in an L stance and you're going into high pat on horse, lift the heel, draw it back. As the string draws you back and sinks you into the right quad, then it's going to lift you and rotate you and bring the ball of the foot down into a cat stance. That's really important to practice. So let's go over that a couple of times. So L stance, single whip, we begin, turn, that lifts up the heel, the string draws us back, sinks us into the right, lifts us and rotates us, and that brings the ball of the foot down. Again, that's single whip. You can put the hands away. This is the center of you. It turns you and folds you forward. That lifts the left heel and drops it back. It sinks you into the right quad, makes the left toe light, turns you, draws you to center. That brings the left ball of foot down. Okay, let's just go through it a couple of times without much talking. Begin, turn and sink back, rise, and ball of foot touches down. From single whip. Okay, so that's coming in from an L stance. If you're already at a 45 in the back because you've modified this posture to work for you, which I encourage, as always, then what's going to happen is you're simply going to let the string draw you forward. We fold into the left quad, sink you into the right quad, and then turn and rise you, and ball of foot touches down. Notice that my hips are not completely squared forward. That would put a lot of pressure on my back knee. They're kind of going out to the angle a bit. Okay, again, begin, fold, sink back, rise. Again, fold, sink back, rise. One more time. And I keep this single whip, we put the arms away, fold forward, sink back, rise. Okay, hopefully you're able to, make sure that you're doing good things for that back knee. Let's take a look at the hands. Okay, so we're in single whip, and your backhand, it might be that you are 180 degrees, but that might not be good for your shoulder and how it's put together, and maybe the tension or the issues that you might have. So anywhere around here is fine. Notice that the string is going to do most of the work, as usual. It turns, you open up that right hand, you hinge forward, you rise and let the hand settle. So as you turn, that brings the left hand back, the right hand forward, they sort of meet, and then you rise and let the hand settle. Turn the body, let the hands float, rise. So the hands are making these curved movements. Left hand a little over to the left, right, sweeps forward, we rise, and the hands settle. Everything comes from the middle. One more time. I'm just going to pretend I've got a shoulder issue. Okay? And just from the front. Remember, try not to create tension here. Turn, draw back, hands relax. Okay, let's put them both together. This is why you don't want to step out too far. Okay, I'm going to show you what happens when you go beyond your capability. So I'm loving the form. I get into it. I'm like, yeah, single whip. High pat on horse. That's losing the principles of the form right there. I know it feels good to sometimes go into these deep postures, but know that you don't want to lose the principles of the form, which are moving from your center, let the waist direct. There's the drill. So one of the things that I learned in my yoga training is one of the rules, the laws of yoga, is do not steal. And I think that applies to all of these movement arts. Do not steal means don't take away the possibility of your body shifting and learning and doing something in the future because you're forcing it early. And that's one of these things. So when we step out in a way that's gentle to the body, we can automatically go into the next movement very easily. And we can continue and go out maybe a little deeper the next time. And then notice that, I could go back into this with ease. Or I'm dragging my foot still and I need to make that adjustment. So do not steal. It's a really good law of any mindful movement. Let's put those two together from single whip. So we're at single whip. I'm at a 90, so I'm going to turn and drop the heel back. So we begin, turn, heel comes up, we sink back, and we float and rise from the center. Notice that when you have your 90 degree, your L stance, dropping it back, dropping that heel back, is also making you go back a little further. It's just a couple of inches, but that couple of inches makes a big difference. So we begin, turn, heel goes back, we rise up. Let's do it 2 more times with this footwork. Begin. Last time. And then with the 45, we simply hinge forward, draw back, rise up. Fold forward, hinge, sink into the right quad, rise. Last one. turn, sink, rise. Okay? When we do it comfortably and within our body, we can maintain our relaxation. We can keep our nervous system in rest and digest. We make sure that our fascial, our connective tissue, is not getting too gluey and sticky with repetitive movements that are not good for us. There's a whole gamut of reasons why we do these postures in the way that works for our body. Taiji should fit you like a glove. You should not be trying to put on somebody else's glove. All right? Okay, happy practicing, Shisha.